We're talking about several different patterns here that we're following, that we're trading. Now, this one is a new issue, so you don't really get a chance to, get much history in it. But this is popped yesterday, and then this started into this channel that we talk about in the pre-market, where it gets into this downtrending channel. And it's 90% effective that it continues in this downtrend. But what happens then is these stocks sometimes is they have the initial sell-off, and then they get going back out and they break out of the channel after trading for part of the morning. Then they break out of the channel, and look at this thing go now. I'm gonna trade this. Let's try this. Maybe too late. Let me trade this stock. I'm just watching it here. This is already broken out. And I'd be chasing it. No, I'm not going to buy it now. It would be a chase. This was the level right here. I was gonna buy some. Look at this go now; it's popping. I was gonna buy some of this stock, and but by the time I got it set up, I'm not used to using this program to buy and sell stocks, so it didn't really work. But here was the breakout on it, the JMIA. I was talking about this. We get into these patterns where it goes into this channel. Now this is a bearish channel, so we don't trade that, not from the long side. But what happens is then there's something going on with the stock. I mean, there's a reason why this popped and then pulls back coming into the market. But when they break out of this channel and start to trend back up, then you can enter the stock. And so this is one of the patterns that we want to watch and follow, and that is when they break out of this channel like this and then start trending. That's a bullish sign, because there's something going on with this stock. And then what happened was, so it got into this uptrend, and so we'd look for an area to maybe take a position in this stock, and right around this level here could have been an area 27.5, or you might have wanted to wait till it got to 28.30. But you can see at 27.5 it did have some troubles, popped through and then pulled back. But it held support on this trend line right here, and this is key, that it holds support there. And you could have, you can buy it when it comes down to into the support area like this, as well as, really this is an area breaking out for it. And for sure when it got through 28.38, now you can see that it did pop up and pull back, but then we were able to draw a new trend line, and this is it here. And this is the trade that we want, also another pattern we want to talk about, and that is staying in the channel. We've got this channel that it comes up like this, and when we draw the parallel line, this is it here. And as long as this stock stays in this channel, you can see it did pull back, but stayed in the channel again. And I had drawn another, and this wedged in this area here. It was a downtrending channel or a wedge. And when it popped that wedge, that's when I was looking at doing a trade, and also wanted to trade it over the 33.21, but I was too slow and missed it. Now 34.66. I mean, this was a pre-market alert that we put out. We talked about this at 20. 27.25, and now it's up $7, 34.55. And what a beautiful trade. I mean, this is in here over this 27.50, 27.25 area, now 34. So this has lots of very interesting patterns that we should learn to trade. This one, trade it to the short side. When it breaks this channel and starts channeling up, look to go long when it breaks out over resistance, and look at this thing go. What a trade that ended up being for us if you took that trade. Another one that another pattern that we traded today. This is a first pullback entry opportunity on ADNT. Now, when I'm looking to buy a first pullback, I actually use a 5-minute chart, and what I'm looking for is the first green candle to make a new high. So we get this initial pop in the morning. We get these 2 red candles pulling back, and then we get this candle here. So now I'm looking for the first green candle to make a new high, which is this candle here, and it does. And the entry on that was 27.08, and I actually got in at 27.20, or 22.20, and it pops, and it adds on, you know, close to over $1 from that area. It adds $1.50, and we just about catch the very top of the trade. Now, the second chart that we're looking at, second pattern we're looking at, is what we call the ABCD pattern. So when it pops up like this becomes A, pulls back, this is B. And now what you're watching for is this kind of pattern here like this, and then it rolls over and consolidates. Sometimes you see it pull back into this area here. You don't want to see it pull back below this area, but it did consolidate in this area. And this is an area where you can accumulate it, especially now here that it held this trend line. And so this is the AB, you accumulate in the C, and then when it breaks out to the high of day, which it did here, you sell half your position and you let the other half run. And in this case, it broke out, pulled back, but you'd still have half your position. And if it continues to trend up like this, you know, there's lots of room for this to move. It is in this channel. As long as it stays in this channel, stay in this trade. You could trade it up into this area, 24.25. Now, if this is the resistance here, this 27 or 23.57. It did break through it, pulled back. Now taking, you know, starting off again. My stop on this would be, you know, I'd probably stop it if it breaks below out of this channel. But for now, you can just see that this is. We've got the first pullback entry up, traded out, sell, pulls back, pops, pulls back again. Here's your entry level in here. And you see, you don't really want to enter in here because we don't know if this is going to, you know, if this is a wave 1, 2, and then, you know, starts on the way down. But in this case, it did continue up. This is the pattern here that you're looking for, is where it gets up close to high day and then rolls back over. And then you can accumulate it in here with a view that if it fails to get out, but if it holds it, then you trade it, sell half it at the high of day, and then let the other half ride. And now, as long as it stays in this channel, you can stay in that trade. This is a breakout pattern. I was looking at to buy this on the breakout here, and it touched up to it, pulled back, touched, and then pulled off sharply. And so I didn't take a position in it, and then I went away. So I actually, that's why one of the reasons I didn't take a position, because I was on my way out, on my way to yoga. And so, but then it came up. This is the key pattern here. So the more times the stock tries to break through lateral resistance, which you'll see is here. This is the lateral resistance. This is the new resistance for it up here at 46. It had this big pop up, pulled back, and now spikes today. Big spike. So we're looking at the breakout of this 44. And we can see that it came up to it very strong and kept trying to break through. Tried once, tried twice, and then sold off sharply. Tried a third time, and then got into this wedge pattern. This is very bullish. Got into this wedge pattern. Now, the more times the stock tries to break through resistance, the more likely it's going to do it. And sure enough, it pops through, and then pulls back and holds support. This here, and as luck would have it, well, it really would have fanned this out because it didn't break down, it just sort of broke through. So you keep fanning this out, fanning it out. And then, after 2 or 3 candles, you get this one candle here of indecision, spinning top, and then boom, it pops. And now this would be your entry level. This held support now is starting to take off. So in here around 44, it's a breakout. This is a breakout pattern, and it traded to 45, 42. So there was $1.40, $1.20, at least a solid dollar trade in this pattern, and today. But this is a really good example of it. Trades up to resistance, tries a couple of times, pulls back, tries again, gets into a wedge, pops through. Don't buy it there, wait for it. It does pull back. Now sometimes these will continue on, and so if you wait for the pullback, you might not get it. In this case you did. And so you can buy it here with a view that on the first pop, with a view that if it fails, you get out. But in this case it didn't, and off it went, and there was there was a nice trade in there.